and take a breath. Don't scroll. Watch the numbers I'm going to give you. A lot of you on the left are arguing about emotion. A lot of you on the right are arguing that it's about, hey, 4 years ago, this, that, and the other. Let's get real numbers that you can now sink your teeth into. If you're on the left, you're going to find out exactly what Harris Biden have done. If you're on the right, you're going to find out exactly what Trump did. This is not a chart I made up. This is an actual chart put together based on the Federal Reserve, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Energy Information Agency, and the NASDAQ. These are real numbers that you can sink your teeth into, that you can take to work and show them at the water cooler, that you can have after dinner if there's an argument about politics. Let's just take the emotion out and talk about numbers. The inflation rate year over year under Trump, 1.89%. Under Biden-Harris, 5.28%. Inflation cumulative, 7.8% higher under Trump, 19.2% higher under Biden-Harris. Average gas price under Trump down 5.4% to $2.49 average, up 46.6% under Biden-Harris, $3.50 average. 30-year mortgage rates down 34.8% under Trump, 3.86% average, up 132% under Biden-Harris, 5.45% average if you can get a mortgage. Average rent costs up 11.8% under Trump, up 21.6% under Biden-Harris. NASDAQ Composite was up 138.2% under Trump, up 39.4% under Biden-Harris. Grocery prices up 6.5% under Trump, up 20.9% under Biden-Harris. Electricity prices were up 4.2% under Trump, up almost 30% at 29.6% under Biden-Harris. And real hourly wages, a big indicator, up almost 7% under Trump, 6.8%, down 2.2% under Biden-Harris. These are real numbers that I didn't make up. These are numbers you can go and research and verify. These are numbers that are based on July 12th, 2024. The jobs numbers, of course, got worse since then with a readjustment down by about 1 million jobs. Now, get emotional if you want and complain about somebody's hair or how they tweet or whatever or their age. Or you can actually look at numbers and decide who was the better CEO, who was the better person in charge. Because Harris is no different than Biden, except she's a little more progressive, more liberal on policies, which will cost everybody even more money should she win.
70 cents today. That's the pain. So let's break down where the bulk of that pain came from. You see this line right here? That's where Trump 45 left office and Biden came in. Carry that over to the next line. This is all Biden's presidency. And this is where Trump came back in. So this is a 22% rise during Joe Biden for the cost to live. Now, this 2%, 2.7% number, that's what they're talking about. This represents the part of the graph for the number that came out today, which all things considered is pretty good, even though it outperformed the estimates of supposed to be 3.1%. And the left wants to make it seem that Trump's tariffs are to blame for this 22% inflation that happened before the tariffs. See, Trump has actually brought some prices back down to almost where they were before Biden, and in some sectors like gas and things like that. For example, when Trump left office, gas was about $2.50 a gallon, which shot up to a national average of $3.50 during the time. Biden had both the House and the Senate. He was doing whatever he wanted, passing things like this Green New Deal trash. And then in January of 2022, what happened then? The number one Republican talking point was Joe Biden's driving gas prices too high. Because he was. What does Joe Biden do? Check this out. He starts draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's meant for a crisis or wartime. But he did it for political gain during the midterms. Right around here. Because the midterms were here. He drained the stock from 650 million barrels down to 350 million barrels in reserve. And yes, gas prices did actually fall during that time. But it was the supply surge. And they crept back up slightly until they started to go back down under Trump, because Trump policies came in and had actual deflation from that, which is almost unheard of. See, Trump showed these during his speech last night for a lot of things. Egg prices down, hotel rates, new used cars, there's your gasoline, airfare, prescription drugs, sporting events, all these. Actually, not regular drugs. Those drugs actually are way up because we keep blowing up the supply lines off of the coast of Venezuela. But all of these things are down. They're not up by less. They're actually down, which is deflationary. But according to the liberal media, all those industries are and should be up, affected by tariffs.
actually reduce the deficit by $4 trillion over the long term. Reducing the waste and inefficiency in Medicare and Medicaid will pay for most of this plan. It will slow the growth of healthcare costs for our families, our businesses, and our government. There will be a provision in this plan that requires us to come forward with more spending cuts if the savings we promised don't materialize.